शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मच्छ्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं दूतीक्रमं मण्डलम् वीराद्यष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकं श्रीमन्मालिनी मन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम्। श्रीविमर्शानन्दनाथं सत्याम्बासहितं गुरुं हृत्पद्मकर्णिका मध्ये भावयेत् सर्वसिद्धये। श्रीभासुरानन्दनाथाय नमः। श्रीभास्करराय गुरुमण्डलाय नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्।
Namaste, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Welcome to the fourth day of the third week's Sādhana on Soundaryalahari. Today's session we will cover 27th and 28th verse. We will now first learn to chant 27th verse.
japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ
japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ
sakalamapi mudrāviracanā
sakalamapi mudrāviracanā sakalamapi mudrāviracanā
japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ sakalamapi mudrāviracanā
japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ sakalamapi mudrāviracanā japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ sakalamapi mudrāviracanā
gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam
gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam
aśanādyāhutividhiḥ
saṇadyāhutividhiḥ saṇadyāhutividhiḥ
gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam aśanādyāhutividhiḥ
gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam aśanādyāhutividhiḥ gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam aśanādyāhutividhiḥ.
We can combine gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam and aśanādyāhutividhiḥ as gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramanamaśanādyāhutividhiḥ.
gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramanamaśanādyāhutividhiḥ gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramanamaśanādyāhutividhiḥ.
praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam
praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam
ātmārpaṇadṛśā
ātmārpaṇadṛśā ātmārpaṇadṛśā
praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam ātmārpaṇadṛśā
praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam ātmārpaṇadṛśā praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam ātmārpaṇadṛśā.
Again sukhamakhilam and ātmārpaṇadṛśā we will combine as praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam ātmārpaṇadṛśā.
praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam ātmārpaṇadṛśā praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilam ātmārpaṇadṛśā.
saparyāparyāyastava
saparyāparyāyastava saparyāparyāyastava
bhavatu yanme vilasitam
bhavatu yanme vilasitam bhavatu yanme vilasitam
saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam
saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam. So we will recite all the 4 lines of this 27th verse. Japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ sakalamapi mudrāviracanā gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇamaśanādyāhutividhiḥ praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilamātmārpaṇadṛśā saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam. Japo jalpaḥ śilpaṃ sakalamapi mudrāviracanā gatiḥ prādakṣiṇyakramaṇamaśanādyāhutividhiḥ praṇāmaḥ saṃveśaḥ sukhamakhilamātmārpaṇadṛśā saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam. So let's now hear Priya, Paramesh, Mahinta and Karthik and learn 27th verse in Arabi Ragam.
जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना
जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना
गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः
गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः
जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः
जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः
प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा
प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा
saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam
saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam saparyāparyāyastava bhavatu yanme vilasitam
प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सापर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम् प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सापर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम्
प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सपर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम् प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सपर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम्
जपो जल्पः शिल्पम् सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सपर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यामे विलसितम्
जपो जल्पः शिल्पम् सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सपर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम्
जपो जल्पः शिल्पम् सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सपर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम् जपो जल्पः शिल्पम् सकलमपि मुद्राविरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणमशनाद्याहुतिविधिः प्रणामः संवेशः सुखमखिलमात्मार्पणदृशा सपर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम्.
Now let's see the literal meaning of this verse. This is a very popular verse. This explains the Samayachara Manasa Puja or internal worship of Devi. This verse gives us a clue of the mind of Atmagyani, Sadhaka, who has attained self-knowledge and who has totally surrendered himself to Shakti. Let us see the meaning of this verse word by word. Jalpaḥ. Let my blabber or prattle, meaningless words uttered by me, be the japaḥ, be the japa. Japo, jalpaḥ means let my blabber or meaningless words that I utter through the day be the japa. Śilpaṃ sakalamapi. Also, let all my hand movements be the mudrāviracanā, mudras that should be shown during puja. So, śilpaṃ sakalamapi mudrāviracanā. All my hand movements, let them be the mudras that should be shown during puja. Gatiḥ. Gatiḥ means let my meaningless wander or movement of my legs from one place to another, let that movement be the prādakṣiṇyakramaṇam, pradakṣiṇa. Let my movement of the legs from one place to another be the pradakṣiṇa that I am doing to you. Aśanādyāhutividhiḥ. Ashanadi means let my eating and other similar actions be the ahutividhiḥ, homa sacrifice. Let whatever I eat, whatever I put into my mouth, be the sacrifice that I am doing to the homa. Praṇāmaḥ samveśaḥ. Samveśaḥ is to lie down. So let my lying down be the praṇāmaḥ, be construed as my namaskaram to you. Even though I don't have the intention of doing namaskaram to you, please consider my just lying down as I am doing your namaskaram. sukhamakhilamātmārpaṇadṛśā. Why should Devi consider all these gestures to be the mudras, my lying down as namaskaram, my blabber to be the japa? Why? Because yanme vilasitam. Whatever happiness or joy I experience without any effort, the joy that I get through my sense organs, akhilam atmārpaṇadṛśā, all of it I have totally surrendered to you. Therefore, tava saparyāparyāyah, let they be the important parts or angas of the puja to you. In the Srividya Upasana, there are a few important parts of Navavarana Puja that we do to the Sri Chakra to Devi. Mantra japa are to be done, and whether it is Antaryaga or Bahiryaga, there are many mudras to be shown during the performance of the puja, apart from the Dasha mudras like Saṅkṣobhini, Vidravini, Akarshini, Vashya, Sarvonmadini, Mahankusha, Khechari, Bija, Yoni, and Trikhanda mudras and Ayudha mudras exclusively shown to Devi are essential part of Srividya Navavarana Puja. Also, doing homa, the fire offering, pradakṣiṇa, namaskara, and the offerings of the 64 upacharas, whether it is panchopachara or shodasha upachara or 64 called the chatushashti upacharas, they are also essential part of a puja, the Navavarana Puja. Here the sadhaka is telling Devi, "Hey Devi, as I have surrendered my body, mind and soul to you, there is nothing with me I can offer to you. Therefore, please consider all the sounds coming out of my mouth as uttering the matrika aksharas or mantra japa, all my hand gestures as the mudras required for your puja, my eating as homa, my walking as my pradakṣiṇa, my sleeping or lying on the floor as my sāṣṭāṅga namaskarams, all my enjoyments as the archana and upacharas, and my state of surrender as the rest of the parts of your puja."
Srividya Navavarana Puja is called Saparya. Here we have to see the use of the word Saparya Paryayaha. So Saparya is Srividya Navavarana Puja, and Paryayaha means synonym or with the same meaning. Normally, performing a Navavarana Puja is a very elaborate ritual with many angas or parts. For a person who has offered himself to Devi, he can only perform a puja with his mind and worship her internally. This is why Lalita Sahasranama says, Antarmukha Samaradhya Bhagirmukha Sudurlabha. Thus, the puja becomes very easy for him. He doesn't need to take any special efforts. His daily routine activities become a puja for Devi. So here, the use of the word Saparya, meaning the Navavarana Puja, and Paryayaha is with the same meaning. All the actions on a daily basis which a sadhaka does, let that be considered equal to Saparya, meaning the Navavarana Puja of Devi. In the Bhavanoparishad Prayoga Vidhi called Mahayaga Krama of our Kulaguru Bhaskara Raya, the entire Navavarana Puja is done as an internal worship. All the 16 upacharas to Devi are done by bhavana or mental imagination. Jnanamargyam, Jneyam Havihi, Jnata Hota, Jnatrignanak Jneyanam, Abheda Bhavanam, Sri Chakra Pujanam. Jnanam means all laukika materialistic knowledge. Argyam is the one offered to Devi during Sri Chakra Navavarana Puja. Jneya refers to all other dravyas we collect to do our puja. Jnatra is the one who does the puja, who identifies himself as self. Bhaskara Raya says the Nama and Rupa we associate with everything we see around is the very reason for the non-alignment of the sadhaka jnatru, knowledge jnana, and the jnaya. When the knower, knowledge, and the object of knowledge becomes one, the sadhaka experiences the ananda, which is no different from the Sri Chakra Puja itself. Abheda Bhavanam Sri Chakra Pujanam. To get the oneness with the Devi, the sadhaka has to remove his identity of Nama and Rupa, that is, name and form, so he can align himself with the Chitsvarupini Devata to whom he is doing the puja. This is exactly what the Vaishya seeks at the end of Devi Mahatmya. He recites the Devi Suktam for 3 years, and when she appears in front of him, he asks her the boon of Aham Mama Iti Prajnaha Sangha Vichuti Karakam, and immediately he gets the Sayujya Padavi with her. So the Devi Stuti, you all know, part of the Devi Mahatmyam, where it's in the 5th chapter also, where again and again we say Namastasyai, 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 Namo Namaha. 23 Namaskaras are done by saying this. So this gives that Atma Arpana, so total surrender of the Vaishya. Also in the Navavarana Puja, any prasadam or food eaten by the sadhaka in the Puja Mandapam is considered as ghee offered in the Homakunda, where the Homakunda is sadhaka's body, and the Agni or fire is the Chidagni or consciousness. In the Mahayaga Krama, all the upacharas are done mentally without any external aids. Bhavanaya upacharaha aham tvam asti nasti kartavyam akartavyam upasitavyam ityadi vikalpanam atmani vilapanam homaha bhavana vishayanam abheda bhavanam tarpanam panchadasha tithi rupena kālasya parināmavalokanam evam muhurtatritayam muhurtadvitayam muhurtamatram va bhavana paro jivan mukto bhavati sayeva shiva yogiti kathyate. For this type of a yogi who is always in the state of oneness with the supreme consciousness, Parabrahman, for that person, every breath of his, every action of his, every movement of his becomes the Saparya or Sri Vidya Navavarana Puja.
Sri Vidya Upasakas normally use the word Saparya for Sri Chakra Navavarana Puja, and the book describing the procedure for performing the puja is called Saparya Paddhati. The word Saparya is a key word in this shloka, which denotes the Antaryaga or internal worship of Sri Chakra as described in the Bhavanopanishad Prayoga Vidhi.
When we complete our homa, we offer a final ahuti with the mantra Idaf Purvam Prana Buddhi Dega Dharmadikaratah Jagrat Swapna Sushupti Vasthasu Manasa Vacha Karmana Padbhyam Udarena Shishnya Yat Kritam Yat Smritam Yaduktam Tat Sarvam Brahmarpanam Bhavatu Swaha, meaning all my life, body, mind, soul, all actions prescribed by Vedas, done during my waking, dream and deep sleep states, using my mind, hands, legs and other organs, whatever I have thought, whatever I have spoken, or whatever mantras I have chanted, whatever actions performed by me, I surrender all to the Supreme Being Parabrahman. At the end of all our prayers, all of us do our Atma Sampanam. Following this, we offer a final ahuti saying this mantra from Bhavanopanishad Prayoga Vidhi. Vidita avikita vishayaha vrittaya utpannaha agam tvam guruhu devatehe iti adayaha tas sarvaha chakrarajastha ananta shakti kadamba rupaha tattat sukshma rupaha ye samskaraha tat sarvam chinmatrameveti bhavanaya niryukthanam Swatmani Juhomi. The sense of differentiating me, you, Guru, the sense of do this, don't do that, These constantly occur in our antakarana, that is in our manas is mind, buddhi intellect, ahankara ego, and in our chitta or consciousness.
The belief that they are mere reflections of all the Shaktis emanating from the Sri Chakra, and to completely eradicate such abheda bhavanam, feeling of differentiating things in my antakarana, I am doing this homa into my own atma. So this is what we say at the end of every homa that we perform. Another popular verse we all say at the end of any ritual is Kayena vacha manasa indriyairva buddhya atmana va prakritehe swabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayana iti samarpayami. Whatever I have done using my body, speech, mind, sense organs, intellect, by natural swabhava or inborn instincts. See, these are not done, most of the things that we do are unintentional, but they come through our natural swabhava or our own instincts. I offer all of them to you, the Supreme Lord Narayana. This is what we say at the end of every ritual. Most of you must be familiar with this. Here, Narayana refers to the Saguna Brahman. Now, one may ask, let me just do nothing, no sadhana. Why not Devi consider all my mundane activities and grant me the grace? Her grace will come only if you have complete faith and total surrender, and constantly you are doing the arpanam of all your thoughts and actions at her feet.
But the question is how to get the mental capacity and make up to be in this state of having complete devotion, faith, and total surrender to Devi. The answer is by doing prayer to Devi. First, we have to pray to Devi with nama and rupa, that is name and form. We start our sadhana with external puja for a deity with form by performing upacharas. Could be 5, 16 or 64 offerings, that is panchopachara, shodashopachara or chadushashti upachara. Then the physical or sthula form of karacharana avayavadi is changed to a linear representation in the form known as Sri Chakra, and puja is performed. Then the Sri Chakra is transformed into the Sukshma form of Sri Vidya mantra, and by constant meditation on this mantra and with Guru's grace, sadhaka is able to worship Devi internally without any external aids. Then he gets the total realization of being one with Devi. I will explain this by giving a simple example we all can relate to. If a PhD and a primary school student together are trying to unlock something in science, the PhD may have a better chance to reach the goal than a primary school student. PhD qualified are those who do the internal worship or antaryaga, and the primary school student is the one who is doing external worship or bhakya puja. Now, if the primary school student asks the accomplished doctoral scholar how he attained such great heights in his field, the answer is he was also a primary school student once, then a high school student, then attended university to complete bachelor's, after which he did master's program, enrolled as a PhD student, and finally the Senate of the university grants the doctoral degree as the student has demonstrated the competence required for it.
Yes, according to our Shastras, Atma Jnanam or self-knowledge will be obtained only when we get Chitta Shuddhi, purification of our mind. And the way to attain this purity of mind is by doing prayers, chanting these stotras like Lalita Sahasranama, Soundaryalahari. Even if you do not understand the meanings, but by constant chanting of these shlokas and stotras and doing puja, homa, and having a discipline, following other methods taught by our gurus, and lead a life in accordance with dharma or right conduct. All this will lead a sadhaka to the state of complete surrender to the Almighty. In this verse, Bhagavad Pada tells us that we should all aim to attain a state where all our actions are saparya or Srividya Puja. In our earlier classes on Guru Pratasmaranam, we have taught the same idea as in this shloka. Pratah prabhriti sayantam sayadi pratarantataha yatkaromi jagannatha tadastu tava pujanam. So whatever I do from morning till evening and from evening till the next morning, whatever I do, yatkaromi, Jagannatha, hey Guru, they are all tava pujanam, they are all the puja that I do for you. So this is exactly the same idea that Bhagavad Pada conveys through the 27th verse. Now we will move on to learning to chant shloka number 28.
sudhāmapyāsvādya
Sudhāmapyāsvādya Sudhāmapyāsvādya
pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ
Pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ Pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ
Sudhāmapyāsvādya Pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ Sudhāmapyāsvādya Pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ
vipadyante viśve
Vipadyante viśve Vipadyante viśve
vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
Vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ Vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
na śambhostanmūlaṃ
na śambhostanmūlaṃ
tava janani tāṭaṅka mahimā
tava janani tāṭaṅka mahimā
na śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tāṭaṅka mahimā
na śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tāṭaṅka mahimā na śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tāṭaṅka mahimā. We will now recite all the 4 lines of the 28th shloka.
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
na
śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tāṭaṅka mahimā.
Once again.
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā na śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tāṭaṅka mahimā.
So now we will listen to Priya Paramesh, Mahinta and Karthik and learn the 28th shloka in Arabi Ragam.
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ
विपद्यन्ते विश्वे विधिशतमखाद्या दिविषदः
vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā
न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā
न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā
न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā
karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā न śambhostanmūlaṃ tava jananitaṭaṅkamahimā
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā na śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tātanka mahimā
sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā na śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tātanka mahimā sudhāmapyāsvādya pratibayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ vipadyante viśve vidhiśatamakhādyā diviṣadaḥ karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ kabalitavataḥ kālakalanā na śambhostanmūlaṃ tava janani tātanka mahimā.
Let us now look into the meanings of the 28th shloka. Sudhāmapyāsvādya asvādya api. Sudhām api asvādya. So asvādya api means even after having consumed sudhām, the amrita. So sudhām api asvādya means even after having taken the amrita, the sudha, pratibhayajarāmṛtyuhariṇīṃ, which removes the dreadful old age and death. Jara means old age and mrityu is death. So even after having taken the sudha, that sudha which could remove the dreadful old age and death, viśve diviṣadaḥ, all the gods, vidhiśatamakhādyā means vidhi is Brahma and shatamakādi devatas, that is Indra and others. Vidhiśatamakhādyā means Brahma, Indra and other, all devatas. Vipadyante means meet their end when? At the time of pralayakala. So even after having taken the sudha amrita, which could remove the bhaya of the dreadful old age and death, all these shatamakhādi devatas, including Brahma, Indra and all other devatas, meet their end at the time of pralayakala. Karālaṃ yatkṣvelaṃ, yet, but the fact that Śambhoho, for Lord Shiva, kabalitavataḥ, that Śambhoho, who is the kabalitavataḥ, that Lord Shiva who had consumed, what did he consume? Karālaṃ kṣvelaṃ. Karālaṃ kṣvelaṃ is the terrible poison of the halahala visha. But Śambhoho, the Lord Shiva who consumed the terrible poison of the halahala poison, kālakalanā, is not frightened of time or death. All other gods, the Shatamakhādi devatas, they took the Sudha Amrita Rasa, but they all meet their ends at the time of Pralayakala. But your husband Shiva, who consumed the halahala visha, is not frightened of time or death at the Pralayakala. Tanmoolam. Why? Because the reason is, Hey Janani, O mother, Tava Tatanka Mahima, because of the glory of your Tatanka. Tatanka means the ear ornament. So ear ornament for Suvasinis is considered the Saubhagya jewelry to show the long life of their husband. So here it is very interesting. Amrita is supposed to keep everyone away from old age and death. And this is the very reason Devas and Asuras fight to get possession of it. But when the poison came out of the ocean, during the time when Asuras and Devas were churning, it was only Shiva who was able to consume it so that it did not destroy the three worlds. But what is the reason that Shiva survived the effect of the poison? Bhagavad-pada in another stotram called Kalyana Vrishti Stavam says that the reason why poison did not affect him is because Devi always kept his body cool by occupying half of his body. In fact, we just saw in 23rd shloka that Shankaracharya actually doubted that she had seized the entire body of Shiva. So it is not surprising that Shiva was able to survive the spread of the poison. Another interesting point to note here is that all gods like Brahma, Vishnu, Indra, and so on fell at her feet, and the light from their crowns were showing Arti or Neerajanam to her in the 22nd shloka, but they all perished at the time of Pralaya Kala. And Shiva was not even bending down to her. But being her husband, he was able to survive the poison only because of her tatanka or the earring, meaning her being a pativrata and saubhagyavati.
It is interesting to note that the one who took the poison survived and the one who took the amrita perished. Bhagavad-pada wants to convey here that only because of Shiva's oneness with Shakti caused Shiva to survive that poison. Meaning our aikyam with her will make us survive through this samsara sagaram.
So with this, we conclude today's session. May Devi be with us all and take us through this poison of the samsara sagaram.
Samsara panka nirbagna samudharana pandita.
So we will see you all tomorrow to continue our learning of the 29th and the 30th verse of Soundaryalahari. Namaste, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha.